All right. Trying to figure out how to. Oh, look, there we go. Not just getting a green screen out. It's weird. Okay, no. Okay. Okay, no. Okay. Hello. Hope all is well. It's actually New Year's Day. Market's still closed. Um, but yesterday, I just kind of want to go over a little bit of my feelings of L2Azimuth. I've had it since the day it came out, and it hasn't been good. Um, I have struggled really hard to make it profitable, and it's going to kind of sound counterintuitive, but for like the first week the L2Azimuth came out, I ran it on ES. That's all I ran it on, and L2Azimuth just seems to trade so much; it overtrades. Um, and the thing is, I could go look at my account balance and see, okay, well, yeah, I made $1,000 in profit on the day using one contract, gross profit. Uh, but out of that $1,000, guess what's left over? Negative $2,500. So it would trade so much that I built up $3,500 in fees of commissions, and the commissions by themselves would screw this algorithm over. So then I switched over to NQ and traded that, and was very, um, it was very touchy on NQ. Like I could make it work, but then it would work until it didn't work. And I passed a 25K eval on NQ with L2Azimuth, and literally the next day I almost blew the account, and then I manually traded it and brought it back. And it's just ridiculous trying to get it to work. And I don't even know if this trade idea will work, but it showed a lot of promise yesterday. So the idea here is, if you're looking at the top right of my screen where the microcongruity scores are, they don't appear, right? It's because I'm not going to use it. Microcongruity button is disabled here. I'm not using their quote unquote AI whatsoever. Um, Now, with that said, I'm not going to be using this concordant button either. I wish I could disable it, right? Now, we'll use the auto re-engage. That's fine. And I don't know on ES what settings I'm going to use here. I don't know if I'm going to, use any of these. Probably, from what I've seen, counterspoof just trades way too much. Now, this is using Connor's settings, so I'm going to go ahead and show my settings screen. And so I'm just, this is my first day trying this with ES, and I'm just going to show my settings, and then I'm going to try to explain to you what I'm going to try to do. So these are my settings. These are Connor's settings. The only thing that's different about them is I have turned off, where is it? There's so many settings here. Use micro forecasting. That's off. Um, so these are the settings he used on his latest live stream 3 weeks ago. Um, so I am going to leave these the same, right? And this is just settings I'm using for ES. This is what I'm gonna practice with. So here's your trespass ES. I probably need to remove this stop strategy and just kind of go back to the defaults. So I will remove that. Otherwise, this is my settings that I will use for trespass on ES. And then we have DexRay ES, right? Just the default settings here. We won't get a whole lot of DexRay trades probably in the ES. And then we have, so that was trespass, and then counter spoof is again defaults, right? Or no, this is not defaults. This is something that I pulled off of one of Connor's live streams. I'll leave it, I'll adjust it as time goes, don't worry. So this is going to trade into a sim account. Now, what did work yesterday really, really well was NQ. I am a big fan of NQ. Uh, I if I can get something to work on NQ, that's my priority is NQ. It just seems to move better. Um, now, with NQ, let me kind of show you my settings here. It's literally the default. So if I go to template and hit load, it's the default NQ settings here, literally. The only things I've changed is this limit order offset and the limit order, the cancel ticks. I've changed those. Uh, Other than that, again, I've left everything literally the same. I've disabled the microcongruity, and that's it. Same thing with the stop loss and take profits. If I go over here, um, stop loss is 15, profits 18. This is counter spoof. We don't get filled into a whole lot of counter spoof on NQ. Same with Dex Array. We don't get filled into a whole lot of these, but these are it's the defaults, guys. Um, and then here's your trespass. Now, the trade idea. Let's get to it. So on NQ, I'm going to be using a 144 tick chart. That's what I was using yesterday. It worked out phenomenally well. We are introducing simple price action. Um, and we're being very, very selective on our arming buttons, right? So if we went back into the day yesterday, I think I started trading at like 10:30 or something like that. Um, so let's see if we can get scrolled. And I traded all the way up until like noon. Um, it's 11:30. All right. So what we're looking at here is we have a trend, right? And this is a trend down, right? So I missed this large trend. I started trading right around 10:30. And what we're looking at is we have a pullback against trend, right? So if I started trading back here, right? So say I started trading right here and I've noticed, hey, we've got a trend going on. We're making higher lows, we're making higher highs. We've got a trend going on here during the pullback. So when I start noticing a pullback, right? So I start trading right here. I've got to engage long, right? We're following this. And as soon as we see a pullback, boom, we're starting to see pullback. We don't know what the market's going to do, right? And we want to play it safe. We're going to disable, right? We see the pullback. Okay, cool. Now we're starting to see the progression back, and this is a very, very small pullback. So we're starting to see the progression back, and what we want to see and make sure of is we don't have a break of structure or change of character, right? And in this pullback, we don't. And what we continue doing is once we start seeing it go back forward, right? We start seeing this closure, sign of weakness on the downside. We see this close of a green candle in the same direction of our trend. Well, let's engage it, right? We feel like the trend's going to continue going up, and it does. Okay, well, now we see a sign of weakness against our trend, right? This pullback, we'll go ahead and disable. Now, during this area right here, I may have went and re-engaged it, but then we have a pullback. Now, what we want to make sure of is we start noticing consolidation early, right? Consolidation will kill you, right? And I have problems with this too, right? I just want to press these buttons and get in trades, and it's a psychology thing, right? But you want to notice pullbacks early, right? You want to start trying to noticing them early. How's the price moving? Because notice how this price is moving really good into a trend right here, right? And then we have a pullback. Well, price is not moving very big, right? Then we have this, the price is moving great. And then we have this price is moving great, right? And then now we have this consolidation. Price is not moving very well. And then we have prices moving great. This pullback. Notice these pullback candles are not as big as your other candles, right? And then we have this the same thing over and over. And when we get into this consolidation period, these wicks right here, pay attention to it. we want to disable the strategy completely during this consolidation. We don't know what direction the market's going to go. It may turn around and come against us, right? And if we continue going this path, right, um, we'll see it. Hey, it tops out, but we don't want to say, okay, well, this is you know not another pullback. We're not trying to call this high right here. We don't ever want to try to call this high. Well, what we want to do is when we see this pullback right here, we're going to look at it as a pullback, right? And guess what it's done? It broke through this. So we have a change of character. It broke through, or I don't know which one it is. Change of character or change of structure, break of structure, right? Is it's pulling back now. Now, what we know here is these are big candles. They're pulling back. We've broken this. So what I would do right here at this point in time is wait for this next candle, right? So we broke right here on this candle. Wait for the next one. Because if we look at the next candle, it looks like it's going to come back up. It looks like it's going to reverse, right? This wick is telling us that story. If we didn't wait for this next candle to form, right, we may have went long when we should have went short, or vice versa. And this microcongruency on NQ, and for that matter ES, has not shown to be 100% stable, right? So what we want to make sure is we're always trading in the trend, right? We trade in the trend, guess what? We increase our edge. We increase our edge, we increase our win rate. L2 Azimuth basically lives on a one-to-one risk reward. When we include commissions, the commissions are all oftentimes pretty extensive on L2 Azimuth, and that's what we're trying to do is increase the likelihood of winning, right? All we need is a 60% win rate on L2 Azimuth. If we can get to 65 or 70, perfect. And that's what we're doing is we're just trying to control this algorithm, semi-automate it, let it choose our entries for us for the most likely trades to succeed. And that's kind of where we're at. Okay, well, we have this. Well, we don't have a pullback until way down here. Okay, well, in this case, we don't know if this is a pullback or what, right? We don't know if it's just going to reverse and go back the other way. So what do? We disable it during this. Okay, well now it's starting to come back in our direction. Well, I would have probably enabled right here and I would have probably lost my tail end right here. I don't know. I don't remember if I did or not, but actually I wouldn't even trade it until right here. So I went long and then short and I just kind of kept doing this, following, and I did lose my tail right here during this chop. Um, and that's what I need to start noticing more often sooner is consolidation, the chop of the market, right? We want to look for strong trends, and that is the most likely trades to win. And that's what I found yesterday trading L2 Azimuth. I had actually the best day I've ever had on L2 Azimuth. I can't remember how many trades I took. It was a lot, but on NQ yesterday was a $1,500 day. When I started my account, my eval was like $500 in the negative. I practiced on sim for a little bit, made it up to like $400, and by the end, and then I switched over to my eval, and I went from so I made like $400 in sim, and then I went to eval, and I changed the negative 500 up to 700 and something dollars. It was actually the best day I've had on L2 Azimuth by far. Um, and I don't know if the same thing's going to work on ES. I've got to work on the chart size, probably the tick size. I'm not going to try to do this on a range chart. Um, Range charts are just kind of they look kind of squirrely to me. Like if I come in here like and just switch over to you know an 8 range, like what's default for L2. And I try to, going, oh, and by the way, I don't use analytical chart. Um, L2 Azimuth doesn't need it. It's not integrated. It's for you to look at. And I just makes my charts too busy. All right, so this is that range chart. Notice, yeah, there's price action here, right? But the price action is not as clear as like if I go over to like a tick chart, and I don't even know how many ticks I'm wanting on a chart, right? but it looks like 750 is a good starting point. Notice how much more clear, whenever it loads, huh? How much more clear this price action looks. Yes, it looks choppy right here, but this is clear pullbacks, right? This is clear pullbacks. I mean, so this price action looks a little bit more clear to me than on a range chart. Um, but I just want to kind of share the idea. The I mean, we're all in this together to try to make a little bit of money, right? We want to see this investment of an algorithm that we put in to make money, right? I mean, that's what it was all about. And I was trying to run default settings, didn't work. Tried to run Connor settings, tried to run so many other settings, and I just couldn't get this thing to be profitable. And this is like this concordant button, as far as I'm concerned, should never be there. You should choose long, short, and you shouldn't be able to switch. You should have to switch between them. I mean, that's the way in the state that this algorithm is in. This algorithm's not complete, um, and I can tell you that right now. So, but it is in a state to where I feel like it can choose pretty solid entries, assuming that I am on top of it. Um, and honestly, guys, manually trading, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I like this, the hyper scalping. I like to see the action, right? Like to see, we go in, go out, go in, go out. We make money. We make, you know, and it's not going to win every time. It's not. But with this sort of system, you need to see a higher win rate. And if you're trading so much that your commissions are eating every bit of your profit. And by the way, guys, when I traded yesterday, I only had like $400 in commissions. It was insane. Um, it was like 450 or something like that in commissions. It was awesome. So I wanted to kind of share this trading idea. Is just read price action. There may be indicators out there to kind of help you read price action. And when I brought this idea up to a buddy of mine, he's like, just put a trading, a moving average on your chart. Um, and while that may seem right, if we was to let's uh let's try to throw a moving average on my chart real quick, and let's just do something popular, right, like the 21 EMA or something. Um, let's see here, the 21 EMA, and just throw that on the chart. See, at this point, yeah, I could disable right here. I could be reading price action and know to disable. But here's the thing. I said I want to disable during this pullback, right? And I want to re-enable. One price is going back in my direction. So here's a pullback. Let's re-enable. Well, I'm halfway through this pullback before I disable. I'm three-quarters of the way through this pullback before I disable. Um, this pullback I barely even disabled on, and it went back in my direction and came back. This moving average, yeah, while it can be used to kind of help identify direction, right? Just go in the direction the line is going, then you're good. Um, but even then, it's kind of hard to know that, right? Is this was a big pullback, I would have probably lost my tail end right here. And of course, I'm not trading at this time of day. I mean, this power hour. Um, but I just kind of I know there's a lot of words, and I'm talking. Um, so guys, tomorrow I want to try to start streaming L2, and maybe we can build a community of people to bounce trading ideas off of, because in the current state, this thing doesn't work. The support we're getting from Futures Analytica is horrible. We're not getting any support. Um, and the idea here is let's work together as a community and try to make this thing profitable. Um, and maybe we can bounce ideas off each other's, you know. So without further ado, my name's Gary. I will be trading this. at least until I blow an account, right? I want to see this thing succeed. Um, I'm gonna trade it on this eval. It's a 50k eval. And I'm at this point. I look at this. This eval 99. I've been trading evals and evals. I'm tired of blowing evals. Um, and this tool right here, and I know I probably jumped the gun on it. This tool right here is probably responsible for about 75 of those evals. It's freaking insane. Out of 75 evals, this tool passed one. Um, that's I mean, all the way to the point where it actually got within $100 one day of passing an eval in one day. Went from $100 passing a 50k eval to blowing the eval, all in a matter of 15 minutes. It blew the eval in 15 minutes, as quick as I've ever blown one. So this thing's been completely unstable. Um, but I just kind of want to give it the advantage, right? And I mean, there's conspiracy and all that. Maybe they're controlling it on their side. I don't know. But all I know is these two buttons right here allow me to control it and allow me to choose which direction I'm comfortable with it to go in. Seems like a lot of people just go and hit this concordant button, microcongruency. This microcongruency thing doesn't work. I can promise you that it doesn't work. It's not accurate. It's flipping a coin. It's flipping two coins. Really, is what it's doing. It's saying, okay, here's counter spoof. Let's flip two coins, right? Counter spoof is flipping a coin. Microcongruency flipping a coin. If they both land on heads, go in. That's literally what it feels like they're doing, and it just doesn't make sense. So, um, and we know that the trend is I mean, it's saying trend's your friend. The market's more likely to go in the trend, right? If I see a pullback, right, and we know the trend's established, and you can use this on your normal trading style, but if I'm sitting right here and I say, okay, well, here's a higher low, right? This small, very small pullback. Here's another small pullback, right? And if I jump in literally right here, right? Trend's established. There's been pullbacks, sure, and I jump in right here. I mean, this is very close to the end of. I mean, a big move, right? Very close to the end of that trend. Which direction do you think it's most likely to go? The direction it hasn't been going in, or the direction it is going in? I mean, it's more likely to go in the direction it's been going in. And yeah, we have a pretty good sized pullback right here. It broke this pullback, but it ended up continuing to go in that direction. And that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, it's pulling back, right? So boom, pull back. Go in right here. You can go in right here, and you hold this position, right? And you can go in right here. I'm not that patient. I like to press buttons. I like to see it, you know, go in, go out, go in, go out. I mean, that's just me. That's honestly my charting style. I'm not that patient. Um, but with that said, I'm more than if this makes it profitable, right? If literally going in and very selectively choosing these buttons right here, right? And I want to practice. I mean, NQ is going to become, a priority of what I'm paying attention to, right? I'll try to also pay attention to ES, and if I feel like ES is, messing up my trades on NQ because I'm not paying enough attention to it and my attention is divided, um, I will stop trading ES entirely and just lean into NQ. Um, and that's just me, right? Personal preference, right? I like the price action of NQ. I can get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. That's what I feel like I can do with NQ. And but with that said, um, I will try to stream this, see how it goes, at least until this account's blown. Hopefully, it never gets blown. Um, and and yeah, hopefully this works out. But we will trade this very, very semi-automatic. And if you guys want to say hi during the process, then let's go for it. Um, you guys have any other ideas on how to make this more accurate? Because if I can come in here and sit down for an hour or two a day, right? An hour or two. The idea here is I'm not going to have insane profit targets, right? Five, 600, maybe 800 bucks for one contract. That's my profit target. If I can sit here for an hour or two and make 800 bucks, or have a loss limit, say 600 bucks over the long term, that's if I lose $600 today and I win $800 tomorrow, and I go back and forth, just like that, right? I mean, it's equivalent to making 100 bucks a day, right? That's the same equivalent, right? And if I could do that on 10 Apex accounts, that's $1,000 a day on average, right? That's saying I'm winning only 50% of the days. If I could do that across 20, that's $2,000 a day. I mean, so it's scalable, right? And that's what I want to make sure of is, can I make 800 bucks a day? That's not the question. Can I, over the long term, can I average more income than my losses? Right? What we're worried about. I'm not worried about, hey, I make $800 a day, or $50, $5,000 a day. No, can we average down, like this account right here is capable of 10 contracts, right? If I can make on average 100 bucks a day, right? Say I lose 50% of the time, right? And I'm profitable 50% of the time, and I hit $800 on my profitable days and negative $600 on my losing days, right? That's $100 a day in profit. That's one contract, right? Do the math. You can do 10 contracts on one of these accounts. That's $2,000, or that's $1,000 a day on average, right? I hope to God that we have a higher win rate than 50%, um, but that's just kind of what the way to kind of look at it. Um, Now, I may push tomorrow. I don't know, because this stupid promo at Apex is 90% off, $85, activation fee. But I think they're ending the 90% and the $85, and that all in the same day. And it was only a 3-day promotion, and market was closed during one of those days. So really, what they're wanting people to do is come in and spend, $13, and they don't get to take advantage of the $85 activation fee, or they want them to go in and blow their account 50 times in 2 days of trading, and that just doesn't make sense. So hopefully we pass this account. I've got a few other PAs here, so if I can pass this account right here, I'm gonna go ahead and sign the contract. Just kind of lock this account in. I'm not probably gonna spend the PA fees yet. Um, I've got two other static evals that I want to pass as well. They're statics, so a little bit more hard at the beginning, but as time goes, they get easier and easier and easier, right? Um, so I don't know how I'm gonna do those. I may just blow those in one day. I don't know. The drawdown is only like 625 on those, so let's pray that we can pass those two. That'd be awesome, right? So that means I'd have 3 accounts sitting in park. Um, and then I've got 5 PAs, two of which are $25,000 PAs, and they only got like $680 worth of drawdown available on them. They're not in a good situation, and then my 50K eval PAs have only got like 1250 a drawdown or something like that. They're not doing. Let me see if I. Yeah, they're like 1100 of drawdown left over on those PAs, so they're not in the best situation either. Um, so hopefully we can revive those. I don't know. Um, but I will lean in towards this eval right here, and I've picked up a couple of the static evals while they were so cheap. Um, so there's a few accounts to work on here, and I mean this is my trading journey. I spent I started back in April, no May of 2024. So I've only got like 8 months of trading experience. Um, and I've tried to write my own strategies, tried a lot of things, and trying to use this, trying to get something that works. And the whole thing is I've found stuff that works, but I haven't found anything that works consistently. And I thought I did, and that's why my drawdowns are so bad right now on my PAs. Is I had something that I thought worked very consistently, but it didn't. Um, and well, it did until it didn't. Um, and like to blew my accounts literally. It took me. I never even got on payout status, so they were making it was making like $60 here and there on each one of the accounts. And I sat here and ran this thing for 3 months, thinking, well, yeah, it's very small, it's very slow at the very beginning, and it'll get there, it'll scale those accounts. I mean, it's very very slow. That's the mindset I had, and then literally within 2 days, it took a bunch of trades and like to blew the accounts. Never, I got one of them $30 away from payout status. $30, and then now it is about $800 away from payout status uh, from two trades that algorithm took. Um, I'm not going to disclose which algorithm it is, but yeah. Anywho, I hope you guys like what you see here. I'm willing to try anything at this point, trying to get this to work. I'm not looking for something fully automated. I want something I want to pay attention to, and you know, if I semi-automate and I have to sit here and read the chart patterns and stuff like that, so be it. Um, but I want to see something profitable this year, um, and I hope you guys can pass ideas that I can also try. That said, um, have a good day. I will be online in the morning. I'm in Central Time, so possibly sometime around 9 o'clock Central, which will put you at 10 o'clock Eastern, 10:30. Um, I don't want to trade the first 30 minutes of market. That it just seems random, but it also gives time for trends to establish and everything. If I don't trade the first 30 minutes, so I probably won't even look at the chart until like right before I start trading. So um, that's the settings. I want to kind of show you the settings, the ATM strategies. It's fairly basic settings. Microgrid already disabled completely. I haven't had good luck with it whatsoever. Um, and honestly, I feel like always trading with this trend should always be what you should do over anything an algorithm says. I mean, an algorithm can come in and say, okay, well the market's going to go short right here in the middle of this green bar, and it's not. Like like this right here, this red bar right here, it probably said it was going to go long whenever it started inching forward and shoot. You don't know what happened in the middle of all of this. All you know is this is the movement the bar took. Um, and I would rather just trade this way. Um, unless I can get this machine learning thing working. Today it doesn't work. It's a losing effort. It's not giving an edge. Um, they said it's AI based, and sure it is, but the way that they're training that, it's on the fly. There's not that much data. What you're coming in and saying, let's. I'm a software engineer, so let's kind of break this down a little bit. Machine learning does good with data that's seen, right? Markets are kind of random, right? So you need to have some sort of indicator or a set of indicators that have some not so random values um, for trend direction, that kind of stuff, right? And that's what machine learning is going to do better with is not so random values, right? And if you look at it like a human learning something for the first time, right? It takes repetition. You gotta see the same thing over and over. You got to learn something like math, right? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of problems. That's why your teachers gave you these grids of, you know, multiplication problems, in school. You had your That's why you had to memorize the multiplication tables, this kind of stuff, right? It took hundreds of iterations for you to develop the skill of math, right? On a computer, they're not the same as humans. And the default settings, let's kind of look at the default settings right here, is 1200 bars for machine learning, right? NinjaTrader is on a 144 tick chart. So let's do the math. 144 ticks times 1200, right? That's 172,800 records that it's training on a good day, right? NinjaTrader is not going to give you that 172,800. They're going to filter the data, they're going to combine the data, and give you what they feel like is great. So it's bad data. So what are they doing? They're probably giving you, you know, 25% or 172. They're giving you probably 25%. So you're at 43,000 data points, right? On this initial, training. Excuse me, guys. So that's why I tried to increase it to 6,500 bars. Yeah, that didn't work out. The thing is, it's reading the level 2 data, right? And it's trying to make decisions off the level 2 data. It's looking at the shapes of these candles and trying to form an opinion on it. For this sort of thing, for the shapes of the candles and the size of the candles and all that, that's probably not what you should be training off of. You should be training off of indicators. That's what Patty does, right? Their older models trains off of indicators, not candle patterns, not the L2 data. You need tons and tons and tons more data, and you don't have a computer powerful enough to train this during startup of the algorithm, right? Because it throws the model away every time you stop it. You don't have a computer powerful enough to do that in a reasonable amount of time for you to sit there and wait for it. And by the time you would have that, it would already be out of date. So that's my 2 cents on the way that L2 works. Honestly, guys, L2 needs to have a tool where you can go and pull the data down from some data provider, whether that is NinjaTrader or whoever, right? There's lots of places to get data from. Pull that down, train your model, use the resources of the computer, and rather than training on demand, it can just pull the model out. Very similar to Patty, but then again, what do you have after that? So we have emotions, we have instinct, we look at charts all the time as traders. That's what we do, and I feel like I can decisively see this trend better than L2 ever could. And that's kind of the way I look at it. Now, there was also another friend of mine that's been running L2, and I kind of had the idea of running NQ on Ninjarinko. And I found that, yeah, it was pretty accurate at predicting what the next candle was, but beyond the next candle, it wasn't very accurate. Um, and we were doing a Ninjarinko, I believe it was 2 or 2 4, whatever the settings were on Ninjarinko. Now, he decided rather than doing that on NQ, he wanted to do it on ES. So far, he's shown good results on ES with microcongruency, and he's disabled counter spoof index rate, and he's just straight up trespass. And he was never profitable for it. I should probably try that. I'm just not patient enough, and I want to sit here and watch it, right? I don't turn this on and walk away. I watch it the whole time that it's on, and And that's kind of the rules of Apex, anyways. You gotta turn it on, kind of watch it, and somehow automate it. Man your bot, is what they say. So, with that said, that's what I'm gonna do. Man my bot. Um, Selectively, very selectively engaging these buttons. I feel like price is more likely to go down than it is up, then I will engage short. If I feel like price is more likely to go up than down, I'll engage long. If I feel like we're in consolidation, disable both of them. You don't have to be in the trade that bad, right? Because what you're going to find yourself in the situation of is, say you're in this consolidation period right here at the bottom of this low, um, or this bottom here. You find yourself in this consolidation. What the algorithm's going to be doing is sitting there trying to take trades in the wrong direction. You need a trend, my friend. Um, and and honestly, and that's basically every trade. You need a trend. So that said, um, good luck, guys. I will be online tomorrow. I will probably start trading probably 9:30 tomorrow. So if you guys want to join, hang out, we can do this together. Thanks, guys.